oh my god, there seems to be a lot of diseases and unnatural things happening in the land of Wano. I, Chopper, who is a medical expert, should be able to help solve these problems for you guys. What am I gonna do? I'm just gonna kind of do stuff until the end, and then I'm going to cure everybody because I'm a doctor. Alright. Welcome one, welcome all. And on a more serious note, today's video we're going to be talking about Chopper and him as a doctor and why he should be doing more in Wano with actually curing people of their diseases, their illnesses, or the side effects of, like, let's say the smile fruits that have been force-fed to the people of Abisu Town. So on Twitter a while ago, I ran a poll and I said, should Chopper be doing more as a doctor in Wano throughout the story of Wano, or should he save his kind of like big medical feats for the end? And the poll had something along the lines of like 18 to 20 votes, and then a majority of the votes, like 70%, said Chopper should be doing more. And I completely agree with them, because if Chopper is going to achieve his goal of becoming the greatest doctor in the world, and curing any incurable disease or curing all diseases, Wano is a great foundation for his actual medical career and what he should be able to do by this point in the story. So with all that being said and done, let's get into this topic. Chopper's goal and dream is to become the #1 doctor in the world of One Piece. He wants to cure any disease that he finds along the way on their adventure, and he wants to be able to eventually cure any and all incurable diseases. So to get to this goal, right, you have to have some form of foundation of medical feats. Even though he is a doctor and he's a very skilled doctor, you have to have sort of these obstacles to overcome while going through the adventure with the Straw Hat Pirates. So we're going to date back to when we were first introduced to Chopper, and he treated Nami from her jungle fever. Following that, when they ran into Aokiji, he treated a frozen Robin and Luffy. Following that, we get to Thriller Bark, where he examines Oar's body and is basically able to give a rundown of how Oars was created by Hogback. He was able to transfer the blood of a fishman to a human, that being Jinbei and Luffy during the Fishman Island arc. Following that, we get up to Punk Hazard, where he finds the kids who are given the gigantification serum, and he's able to basically break down what that is and help find a cure for it. And then finally, he was a major help and cause for while treating the Minks in Zou from Caesar Cloud's gas weapons. However, on that last one, he actually didn't cure it. He uses Caesar's anti-serum to actually basically cure everybody, right? So if we break those down, those are 6 medical feats that Chopper's had throughout the whole entire story of One Piece so far. A couple of things here and there, right, where we go back to Whole Cake Island and he says Luffy's been poisoned and he's trying to extract the poison from Luffy, but Reiju is ultimately the one who sucks it out of him, right? So I posed the question, like I said earlier on Twitter, if he should be doing more or if he should be saving it for the end. Now, I want to start off with saving it for the end idea of this video, because this one's rather short and I'm going to give my 2 cents on it. So if Chopper saves all of his medical feats for the end of the Wano arc, it's kind of underwhelming, right? So we see the Abisu Town smile leftovers. We have the mummy virus now from Udon prison. We have the poisoned civilians from the rivers and waters of all of Wano, because near the factories and stuff, right? We have Smile Devil Fruits themselves. That seems to be a major one. So if we get this whole kind of culmination of Chopper doing everything at the end of Wano, everyone's going to be like, why? Like, it would make more sense if he just did more along the way, because then it shows this gradual progression of how he actually is a doctor and how he can apply his abilities. So for option one, if he does save everything for the end, I personally am going to be probably less of a Chopper fan, and it's going to make even less sense towards the end of the story where he cures Luffy of some incurable disease, because that's probably how it's going to play out. Or Chopper should be able to get to a point where he can kind of give back the number of years that Luffy is losing by using Gear Sec and his Ivankov surgery, where Ivankov injected the hormones into him and took 10 years off of his life. So like Luffy has a very short lifespan, and Chopper's biggest medical feat at the end of the series is going to be somehow to help Luffy out and to make him live a longer life, so we don't get the same trajectory as Goldie Roger where he gets an incurable disease and trades himself in. So that's the first part of it. Second part of the video is if Chopper does more medical feats gradually throughout the land of Wano. Now, the first instance of what we see from a disease is actually the poison from the water that Otama drinks in chapter 12 in Amigasa Village, right? So what happens is she drinks this poisoned water, right? And Chopper isn't around, and so I don't really blame him for this point, right? But there is still a side effect that is lingering in her body that a lot of people have forgotten about, because this did happen 39 chapters ago, right? So like beginning of the year. So basically, this poisoned water, right, is cured by the Jiangong grass that Otsuru gives to Otama, right? And so Otsuru says basically it's a super potent grass that is able to cure and drain out the poison of the body. However, it's still in there, so she tells Otama to cautiously never drink the river water again. So if we break down Chopper's medical feats one by one and how they should progress throughout Wano, this is probably part one of what he should be able to cure by using the Jiangong grass and his medical expertise as a doctor to actually take all of the poison out of the body, right? And then if anyone ends up drinking the water by the end of the arc, and if it's still poisoned, he should be able to have like a medical vial, right? Or like a little anti-venom for anti-poison, not anti-venom, because venom is injected. An anti-poison for them to drink. So by the time, so like let's say that these factories are all destroyed and there's no more poison in the water, and like all the fish are like not poisoned anymore, so people can eat the fish again. It's not going to happen literally the day after. It's going to take time. Like that poison is going to subdue into the water. So Chopper should have this kind of like overset of medical vials and anti-poisons for the rest of the people of Wano to get them to the point to where the water is clear and to where the water isn't poisoned anymore. Next, we're introduced to Ibisu Town through Zoro meeting up with Tonoyasu, and we don't really learn about the side effects of Ibisu Town and why it seems so strange in the first place until a couple of chapters down the road. But when Zoro gets to Ibisu Town, everybody is laughing, right? Because this is a side effect of the Smile Devil fruits that Zoro didn't know about, where the ineffective Smile Devil fruits basically just make you smile and you laugh, right? So the second part of Chopper figuring out things along the way, or basically curing things along the way, the second portion of it would be Ibisu Town, right? So Chopper has to find a cure for Smile Devil Fruit's ineffectiveness, turning people who have ineffective Smile Devil Fruits into these kind of like laughing stocks of people. So one of the major feats that's actually going to happen when Chopper does this is he's going to be able to cure everyone in Ibisu Town and the rest of the people in Wano who are force-fed these smiles to basically get back their innate human emotions of being able to actually cry and to grief and to feel sadness, and they don't have to laugh everything off and they don't have to laugh through the pain, right? So this is probably the most important medical feat that Chopper's going to have to get over in Wano. And I think it's kind of like, how do you describe it? Probably his crowning jewel as a medical feat up until this point in the series. And if he saves this for the end of Wano, I wouldn't be too surprised. But I think he does have to address it at some point during Wano, and he could save them, right? Or this cure for Smile Devil Fruits and the ineffectiveness of them through these Sakura Blossom petals that we've learned about all the way back in Drum Island. So Hilaluk was talking about them. I think it was Hilaluk. I was talking about how Sakura blossom petals were a very rare substance in the world of One Piece, and how they are basically the foundation for most medicines when it comes to very inornate medical curings. So I think at some point we're going to get a revelation of Chopper happening upon like a very sacred ground where there's a bunch of cherry blossom trees, and it's in Wano and only in Wano, and this is going to be kind of like the cornerstone of his operations. Now, the last two instances of what Chopper could cure I want to talk about are Big Mom's amnesia, and not just the amnesia she got from getting knocked off the waterfall by King, and the mummy virus. So we're going to get this one rolling with the Big Mom amnesia. So I was a firm believer that Chopper should have cured Big Mom's amnesia, right, during the beginnings of the Udon prison mini arc, but we later find out that Queen Brachio bombs Big Mom and knocks her back into consciousness and then unconsciousness, and we know how that plays out, right? But there's this underlying factor of Big Mom's amnesia from eating Mother Carmel, right? So by the end of Wano, if Big Mom doesn't fall alongside Kaido, another great medical feat that Chopper could have is actually restoring the whole entire memories of Big Mom from when she was a kid, from when she blacked out from not having the semla, then eating the semla and killing everybody. So I think this is more, I don't know how you like cure amnesia, right? Because it's like, it's not even possible in the real world. So how do you come up with the theory that if it's possible in the One Piece world, right? So there has to be something underlying there to where Chopper actually helps out the Big Mom Pirates by helping out Big Mom and curing her amnesia, so she can actually be a not righteous person, but more along the lines of herself and actually know her whole entire history and her backstory herself, right? And then the second one of this is the mummy virus, and consequentially the rest of all of Queen's kind of like contraptions and inventions and all of the shit that he makes. So the mummy virus basically is a high fever that spreads on contact with other people. So there has to be a cure for a virus, because we have cures for viruses within the real world as well. So along with the mini prison Udon arc like wrapping up and Chopper still being in there, he has time, and this is where we could actually start to see the benefits of Chopper being a medical doctor and curing things, right? So basically in chapter 950 we saw him talking with Luffy before Luffy kicks Momonosuke out to see everybody within the prison. He was working on something. He had band-aids, probably icy hot, you know what I mean, like a couple of things here and there, and he's whipping something up. So this is the start of what I wanted to see, and what I hopefully will get for the rest of Wano, is Chopper actually being the medical doctor of who he wants to be. So thank you guys for tuning in to this short little video today. Let me know what you guys think about Chopper so far in the Wano arc and him as a doctor, and what it's going to actually take for him to become the greatest doctor in the world and cure any disease along the way, and cure any incurable disease that Luffy's eventually going to get. So like, comment, subscribe, leave your notes down below, and until next time, peace.